Hello again, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of Big Time Sports. My name is Joe Dunn, along with Dean Marini. We're going to be talking some high school football all session long. 25 minutes of previews of our 7 state championship football games and a little quick look at high school basketball as we get ready for the first big week of high school basketball games coming up this week all over Stark County. But Dean, let's reminisce a little bit because our coverage on Big Time Sports started all the way back in August with Indian Valley at Green, and it ended with Indian Valley against Glenville. Great games, and that game at Minerva on Friday night was special, wasn't it?
That was an amazing game to watch. It's interesting because you have such a great dynamic. You've got the small hometown school. Kids all grew up together against the Cleveland school coming from a bigger city. A little bit of a misnomer when you call Glenville a public school because of the Ginn Academy.
Sure.
But to see those two teams play that game in the elements, because as we got there and began to start setting up, we got that probably about a half to 3/4 of an inch of snow. And I think the weather did play a factor in what the offenses were able to do that night.
Yeah, hats off to those Indian Valley fans. I got down to Minerva early, grabbed something to eat, and the place I ate at was just full of bib overhauls and Indian Valley sweatshirts and hats and T-shirts. Congratulations to those guys. In temperatures, Dean, I would say it's somewhere around 28, 29 degrees on Friday night, but they were there. They dominated the fan base down in Minerva.
Yeah, we were interesting because we were in the stands with the camera, so I had to worm my way into the camera position with some Indian Valley fans. Thank you to the people who let me in and out a couple of times, but they were there in force, they were there in mass, and that's the great thing about small division football in Ohio. It's last person in town, turn the lights off because we're all going to the game.
Exactly, and again, congratulations to all those Indian Valley fans. And one of the questions we're going to talk about in a second as we take a look at the 7 state championship games, a lot of these teams are back every year. They've got great tradition. It seems like the names are always the same, or a good proportion of the names are always the same playing the state championship games. What makes the difference in these programs? I'll tell you what makes the difference. One thing is community support. As I walked into the stands down at Minerva, I was handed this from an Indian Valley fan, and they had passed these out to all the Indian Valley fans, and this is the type of things that separate the programs, Dean.
I think that's one of the things. It's that community support, and it's that culture that's developed in those towns. You look at places like Steubenville, Mogador, you look at places like Kirtland. It's tradition, and the kids, Massillon's famous for that.
Exactly.
It's that tradition. It's the little football putting in the crib of every baby boy born in town. And when the town has that culture, I think it goes into the kids, and the kids respond to that. And I think that's one. The other thing, and it's a factor that we saw at Mount Union quite a bit over the years. I can remember the 2012 Stag Bowl. We had 4 guys on the team that were playing in their 60th college football game. And when you get to play 14, 15 weeks and you get to practice your team for 14 or 15 weeks, that's like a season and a half of worth of practice that a lot of schools don't. So when you start making those perpetual playoff runs, deep playoff runs, and get that those extra practice weeks, it pays off in dividends the next year because those kids got another half season worth of practice. Even if they didn't get on the field, they got 5 more weeks of practice that the other teams didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Great point. You'll notice, too, if you go to those games and pick up a program, a lot of those names, especially the small Division 5, 6, and 7, those are names that their grandfather and fathers played on those same teams years ago. So they got continuity in those programs. That makes a difference. And a lot of things, I always look for the new names, and there's not a lot of new names every year. These programs sustain their excellence from year to year. Let's talk about how these teams got to Canton. First, how about Division I? Cincinnati St. Xavier beat Middletown 21-6, and Olentangy Orange beat St. Ed's 28-0. We'll talk about how the matchup looks, Dean, but 2 familiar names, St. Xavier from Cincinnati.
Yeah, I got a chance to see Olentangy Orange this year. They're really good. I mean, they are really, really good. And to shut out St. Ed's tells you something.
Exactly. In Division II, Avon gets to the championship game by knocking off Walsh Jesuit 38-7. And Cincinnati Anderson beat Big Walnut 29-22. Big Walnut was the team that put Massillon on the sidelines.
Yeah, Big Walnut, great program, another one. But Anderson, one of those perpetual teams,
Yep.
and of course Avon has been here before.
In Division III, two parochial schools. Toledo Central Catholic beat CVCA 21-20. CVCA hadn't attempted a field goal all year long. They tried one to win the game, and they didn't make it. And that's how they lost 21-20. Meanwhile, Bishop Watterson beat Tippecanoe 41-9.
Bishop Watterson, again, another team I had a chance to see. They are really good everywhere on the field, at every position.
They're loaded, no doubt about it. How about Division IV? We already talked about Glenville beating Indian Valley 26-21. Shelby, remember that name. They beat Indian Hill 42-7. Shelby, one of those new names. Dean, this is the first time they've ever played in a state championship game.
This is the first time they've actually made it to the state championship game, but in the last 3 to 4 years, they have had deep playoff runs, and each year they've gone at least one game farther than the year before. This year, they've made it all the way to Canton.
I got to check my history, but I think Lee Owens, who coached at Massillon at the University of Akron, I think he was a high school coach at Shelby years ago. If I'm not correct, I'm sure somebody will correct me on that. How about Division V? Liberty Center beat Indian Lake 42-10. Wheelersburg, as far in the south in Ohio as you can get, beat Cardinal Mooney 24-10.
That's not surprising. I like this Wheelersburg team. I think they've got a great team, and that's going to be a wonderful game in Division V.
Exactly. In Division VI, Hopewell Loudon beat Coldwater. Now, Coldwater is a great name in small school college or high school football, but Hopewell Loudon beat it 20-18. Kirtland, enough said. Kirtland just a dynasty in Division VI. They beat Colonel Crawford 49-22.
We saw Kirtland against Garraway 2 weeks ago. Kirtland, great program, and at one point they had a running clock on Colonel Crawford.
Exactly. In Division VII, how'd they get there? St. Henry beat Columbus Grove 13-10, and Hillsdale, over there in that Wayne County League, beat McDonald 41-14, the smallest division of them all, Division VII.
Great programs, great tradition in both of these schools, St. Henry and Hillsdale, so that's going to be a good game.
I'm looking forward to all 7 of those games. Hey, before we go and analyze these games a little bit farther, I want to tell you, no surprise, 2 big college games coming up around the area. How about Saturday over in Alliance, Division III playoff game between John Carroll and the Purple Raiders of Mount Union. That'll be a 12:02 kickoff. And that is 9 straight wins over the past few years for Mount Union over John Carroll. Dean, that will be a full house.
It's going to be a packed house. You know, everybody thought when John Carroll left the OAC, these two teams might not see each other again, but the NCAA had other ideas.
That's a great matchup. I'm glad they do that because I like those type of rivalries. It'll be a great atmosphere. If you can get over there Saturday at Alliance, that you won't be disappointed. That'll be a hard-hitting football game, 12:02 kickoff, Mount Union against John Carroll. Then that evening, how about the Big Ten Championship over in Indianapolis? Indiana's come out of nowhere in the last couple of years to be one of the top college programs in the country. They will take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. That should be a great game also.
That's going to be a good one. I wonder what all the folks in Indiana, are they looking at this as a home game? We'll find out.
Exactly. Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will analyze a little bit deeper these 7 state championship games. So don't go away. We're back right after this timeout.
The all-new 2026 Chevy Equinox is here at Bear Chevrolet Toyota. Sleek, smart, and ready for summer fun. With advanced tech, bold styling, and room for the whole crew, it's the perfect ride for every adventure. Stop in today, take a spin, and see why everyone's talking about the new Equinox. Bear Chevrolet Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
You're only as good as your people. And what we've done here is that we've created a culture where people flourish.
We don't want it to be a transaction. We want it to be something where there's a consultative approach, a relationship that allows us to really, one, ensure our customer the right way, but then two, to let them understand the value of getting to work with us.
It's an extreme amount of satisfaction for this team that we have right now. We've developed a team that is solely based on relationships.
I'm Seth.
And I'm Matt.
And we're West
West
End
End
Pizzeria.
Pizzeria.
Here, every pizza starts by hand. Fresh dough, real cheese, and toppings piled high the way you like them. It's not just dinner, it's that warm hometown flavor that keeps friends and families coming back. Dine in, carry out, or grab a slice on your way home. West End Pizzeria, located at 130 West Lisbon Street in Waynesburg, Ohio. We'll save you a slice.
Okay, welcome back to Big Time Sports on our state championship preview. Dean Marini sitting in, who knows as much about high school football as anybody in the area, giving his analysis along with a few predictions. Let's start with Division I. That game will be played Friday night at 7:30. Cincinnati St. Xavier, the Bombers, come in at 11-2. Olentangy Orange, the Pioneers, at 14-0. Xavier, of course, out of Southwest Ohio. Great football, Dean, down in Cincinnati. Elder, Moeller, great tradition down that part of Ohio.
If you go through strength of schedule, I think you got to give this to X a little bit because they do play probably a more demanding schedule in the regular season than Olentangy. And I'll be honest, I was a little skeptical of Olentangy Orange when they got into the playoffs because of their schedule, but they have proven week in and week out they're the real deal.
The quarterback for St. Xavier, a familiar name to Ohio fans, Jackson Fry, the son of former Ohio State quarterback Greg Fry. He's an outstanding quarterback. Olentangy Orange is led by Ohio University quarterback commit Levi Davis. You've seen him play. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, they're really, really good. I mean, they're great across the board. They've got some other Ohio State sons, I guess, if you want to call them that, playing for them. And they are ready for this, and I think they've been looking to separate themselves and become one of the dominant programs in D1.
Yeah, Olentangy Orange beat their rivals, their neighborhood rivals, Olentangy Berlin and Liberty in the playoffs. I think there's, what, 4 Liberty?
There's 4 Olentangys. There's Olentangy, there's Berlin,
northern
Liberty.
part of Columbus?
Yeah, and then, of course, there's Orange. So a lot of good football in the city of Olentangy.
My pick to win this game is Olentangy Orange. Dean, I think you're going with X.
No, X can win, but if you had to ask me, gun to my head, I'd say go with Orange.
Okay, both of us say look for Orange to win D1. Let's move to Division II. Avon, 13-1. Another Cincinnati team, Cincinnati Anderson, the Raptors, at 14-0. That game will be played Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Avon, coached by former Mount Union player Mike Elder.
Yeah, Mike was on the '93 national championship team, the first team to win a national championship at Mount Union. Still has a lot of strong ties to the Mount Union program and does things the Mount Union way. He has developed a program up at Avon. He has worked his way through the trenches. He has taken on all comers, and that's what I like. He's toughened his schedule. He plays a demanding schedule. They've had some injuries, and they're playing undermanned a little bit right now, but they've done that throughout the playoffs and still been able to do what they needed to do to win games and win convincingly. So I think Avon is a great program. Exactly.
Outstanding. They went down to Florida and played one of the top high school teams in Florida. They got beat. They were down a little bit. They came back then, won 13 in a row since that loss. And their quarterback, a familiar name, Blake Elder. He has thrown for 2,827 yards.
Now,
I'm assuming that's the coach's son.
Yeah, Mike has spent some time around a lot of great quarterbacks over his lifetime, both in college and then again as he's coached. And Mike knows a lot about making good use of the passing game, knows how to block that passing game. And I think Avon's the real deal.
I agree. Anderson beat Big Walnut 29-22. That was in the state semis. My pick in Division II is Avon.
I got to go with Avon.
Got to go with Avon. We agree again. How about Division III? Toledo Central Catholic, the Fighting Irish. They're 11-4 against Columbus Bishop Watterson, the Eagles, at 13-0. That game will be played Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Toledo Central Catholic playing in the state title game, the 4th straight season. They started the season, Dean, 0-3, and they've come all the way back.
Yeah, Vince Karras' son plays for Toledo Central Catholic, got injured this year, hasn't played much, but because of that, I keep an eye on the program since I have that relationship with Vince. Toledo Central Catholic has been a long time fixture in the playoffs, and they know how to win.
Exactly. They have outscored their opponents 182-53. That, of course, is in Region 10. Meanwhile, Bishop Watterson, they are always good. I mean, they are a perennial power, not only in Greater Columbus, but all over the state. They are led by quarterback Drew Belisari. That's right. His dad was a former quarterback at Ohio State.
Yeah, and I saw them against Columbus DeSales, and they totally dominated DeSales. And when you look at what they have, they are strong on offense, they are strong on defense. Belisari is a tremendous quarterback, has a great football mind, obviously, gets a lot of that from his dad, and they just know. I watch them, and I'm looking for weaknesses. There aren't any.
No, I've heard they're an outstanding football team. They fell behind Big Walnut 15-0 in the earlier game in the season. Then they came from behind. Since that 15-0 deficit, they have outscored their opponents 607-74. That's amazing. I read that. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, they're really, really good. And if my pick for this game has to go to Bishop Watterson.
I'm going with Bishop Watterson also. I'll tell you, Dean and I are agreeing. Most of the time we're butting heads on things, but we're agreeing on those first three games. Hey, let's go to Division IV. This should be a great game. Cleveland Glenville, the Tarblooders, 11-4 against the Shelby Whippets. I love that nickname, the Whippets, at 14-0. Friday morning at 10:30 will be a big matchup. Glenville going for their third state title. That's in the past 4 years. Their linebacker, Sincere Johnson, we saw him against Indian Valley.
I was impressed with him. I thought he was really a force to be reckoned with. They're big up front. I mean, Glenville's big up front. And the other thing that Glenville has going for them that a lot of schools in Division IV don't is they don't have a lot of two-way players. Most of the teams that they're going to play in the playoffs have a lot of two-way players. We saw that with Garraway, and I think that kind of gets to you. If Shelby can keep the game close and not get way behind where they have to change what they do, I think they can give Glenville all that they want.
I agree. The Whippets' closest game, they beat 11-2 Gallion 42-10. Now listen, before we take a break, listen to the numbers on their quarterback. Kid by the name of Braden DeVito. He's going to the Air Force Academy, and he has thrown for 12,801 yards in his career. That's the fourth best in Ohio football history. Glenville secondary gave up some big plays in Indian Valley. This is going to be a give and take.
And I think that's the thing. Some of the places where Glenville has issues, Shelby is strong at. So a lot of people, when they look at this matchup and look at who it is, they figure Shelby's going to come in there with their eyes as big as saucers, and they're going to be overwhelmed by Glenville. They've been preparing for this for 4 years. They're ready for this moment.
My upset special, I'm going with Shelby.
So am I.
Whoa, I'm shocked at that one. Shelby, win. We're going to take a break. We got a lot more to talk about right here on Big Time Sports.
The all-new 2026 Chevy Equinox is here at Bear Chevrolet Toyota. Sleek, smart, and ready for summer fun. With advanced tech, bold styling, and room for the whole crew, it's the perfect ride for every adventure. Stop in today, take a spin, and see why everyone's talking about the new Equinox. Bear Chevrolet Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
Altman is here for you, in your community, because you matter. We're proud to be the area's first and only independent health system. We are one team, joined together and committed to one mission, to lead our community to improved health. And we've always been here, dedicated to providing you with the very best in care, wellness, education, insurance, and more. For your community and for your family, Altman is always here for you.
Found the perfect pet online? Think twice. Scammers use social media and advertisements for fake websites to target popular breeds like French Bulldogs, Dachshunds, and Shepherds. Watch out for deals that seem too good to be true. Sellers who dodge video calls or in-person meetings, and surprise fees for shipping or supplies. Don't let your dream pet become a costly scam. Visit bbb.org/scam studies to learn how to protect yourself.
Okay, welcome back to Big Time Sports. If you just joined us, we're giving you an analysis and preview of the 7 state championship games. We got 3 more games to go. Let's get to it. How about Division 4? Liberty Center, the Tigers at 14-0. Wheelersburg, the Pirates at 14-0. Saturday night at 7:30 will be the kickoff. 3rd straight title game for the Tigers. Big offensive line, Dean. They go 6'5", 270. Kellen Weimer, the Ohio State commit. They've outscored their opponent 668-74.
You know, it's amazing when you start looking at these numbers, what these teams put up. And I think that that's where, you know, you see how dominant they are in the competition. So now you get to the state title game and you're for the first time all year, you're playing a team that's equal to your capabilities.
That's right.
That can be a challenge.
Exactly. Also, how about the Wheelersburg Pirates? They beat Nelsonville York 14-0 in the state semifinal game. The 15 points is the most they've given up in a game this year. That's pretty good. Their defense is really good.
Yeah, they're really good. And my pick for this game, I think Wheelersburg comes out on top because of that defense.
Our first disagreement, I'm going to go with Liberty Center. Just looking at the numbers, just a wild pick. I like Liberty Center in this one. How about Division 6? Hopewell Loudon, the Chieftains, 13-1 against Kirtland. The Hornets at 14-0. Saturday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon will be kickoff. They have come back from injuries. Hopewell Loudon early in the season to get to the title game. Kirtland has been in the state title game 14 out of the past 15 seasons. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's Mount Union-esque, and that's because Tiger, of course, spent a little bit of time at Mount Union.
That's right.
So when you look at this game, Jake Laverty is talented. I don't know that he throws the ball as well, but they don't throw the ball. They throw it just enough, so you got to be honest, but let's face it, if you've got a play card for Tiger Laverty, it's probably about this big, and it's got about 4 plays written on it.
They're not real big, but they do the same thing every year, and they can't be stopped. Here's a great quote from Coach Laverty with people questioning his program. No open enrollment in Kirtland. The kids on Friday night are the same kids you see in elementary school. I love that quote.
And I love that, too, and that's what we talked about earlier in that first segment about culture and about character, and I think that's where these Kirtland kids get it.
Exactly. Final game, Division 7, St. Henry, the Redskins at 13-1 against Hillsdale, the Falcons at 13-1, Saturday morning at 10:30. St. Henry coach Josh Whirling played on that St. Henry team that won the state title 19 years ago. His son is a quarterback, Charlie Whirling. He's run for 1,770 yards, passed for another 1,429. That's tradition.
Yeah, that's tradition. That's culture. That's the program. St. Henry, year in and year out, are incredibly talented. Hillsdale the same way, though. I think people tend to, you know, they don't see Hillsdale because, of course, we know who's been winning this division for so long that it's surprising that they're not there. But, of course, this game is going to be unique in that you've got 2 great programs. But I think the thing that you're going to be up against is St. Henry is just so good, both running the ball and throwing the ball. It's going to be hard for Hillsdale to compete with that.
Hillsdale's only loss is to Norway, and that was the middle of the season, which determined the Wayne County League title. They did beat McDonald to get into the title game, but my pick to win Division 7 is St. Henry.
And I've got to go along with that. We were off there for a couple, but I got to go with Hillsdale or St. Henry on this one. Exactly.
Enjoy all 7 games. This is it. Final weekend of high school football. It's all right here in Stark County down at Tom Benson Stadium. Get a chance, go down and watch as many games as you can. We're going to take a break, come back, and give you a early bird preview of high school basketball in Stark County right after this.
The all-new 2026 Chevy Equinox is here at Bear Chevrolet Toyota. Sleek, smart, and ready for summer fun. With advanced tech, bold styling, and room for the whole crew, it's the perfect ride for every adventure. Stop in today, take a spin, and see why everyone's talking about the new Equinox. Bear Chevrolet Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
With Bell Store's Bell Buddy Rewards, you save in-store and at the pump. New members receive 20 cents off per gallon as a welcome gift. Everyday savings are made easy. Instantly enjoy 3 cents off per gallon just for being a member. When you spend $25 in store, unlock an extra 5 cents off per gallon on your next fill-up. Buy 5, get 1 free. Track your drinks and earn free coffee, fountain, icy, and espresso with drink clubs. So start saving today. Download the Bell Stores app and sign up for Bell Buddy Rewards.
Wouldn't it be nice if everything was easy? Primetime Health Plan is easy to choose and easy to use. That's why we've had the highest customer service rating for 10 straight years. Call 330-363-7407 to get all the benefits you deserve. Medicare made easy with Primetime Health Plan. Primetime Health Plan is an HMO POS plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Primetime Health Plan depends on contract renewal. Every year, Medicare evaluates plans based on a 5-star rating system.
I hope you enjoyed that look at all 7 state championship games. Have a few minutes left. How about a quick preview of high school basketball in Stark County? Here's my top 5 very early. This will change, but just going on what happened last year, what they have coming back. Here's my top 5 high school basketball teams leading into the season. I'm going to go with McKinley, number 1, Hoover, number 2, Alliance, number 3, Massillon, 4, and Northwest, 5. And Dean, that can change, but at least on paper, that's who I like early in the year.
Yeah, all of them have a lot of guys back and have key guys back that are dynamic players. And I think, obviously, that's something that you need, especially in high school basketball.
Yeah, I've talked to a few people already about the Federal League, and they say it's McKinley's league to lose. They think Hoover will be there, but McKinley, boy, they got Anthony Shavers back, Ed Webster's back, 2 outstanding players from a year ago. Hoover, Coach Mike Bluey, has a great shooter, and Hunter Hirschberger. I watched their JV team a lot last year. They were really good. They're all going to be juniors now. I think that's going to be a good team.
Yeah, Hoover has a lot of people back, and again, if you can get that mesh with the returning players and the new players, that's important. And the thing for Hoover is they got to get off to a good start. They cannot get in a hole early in the Federal League schedule.
I agree. Of course, your hometown Alliance is looking forward to a great year. Senior J.R. Jackson on his way to Walsh to play college ball. This could be one of the Aviators' better teams.
Yeah, I think J.R. Jackson's the real deal. We saw him last year against Glen Oak and an upset on the opening game of the season, and I think he's even better than he was last year.
And the Massillon Tigers, they were good last year. I think they won 19 games. They got a lot of people back. Giorgio Jackson, 6'4". Watched him as a high school wide receiver. He's an outstanding athlete. He'll be one of the better players in the area. And Northwest in the pack, although they lost their first game to Norton, I think they're going to be good. They've got the pack player of the year back in Kristen Pennington. How about some big wins already? How about McKinley knocking off St. Vincent St. Mary 68-59. Louisville beat West Branch. Alliance over Northwest. Big games coming up this week. Toledo Whitmer at Hoover, Salem at Alliance, Perry at Louisville, Ursuline at Central Catholic, Green at Talmadge, and Dean. Football is over. Welcome in basketball, I guess.
I guess we will start next week with our coverage. I believe it's the 12th is our first North game. We're actually got some South games this weekend. So basketball starting big here. Yeah, check the schedule here. One programming note, we were supposed to have an Indian Valley basketball game on Saturday night. That game is actually moved to the 13th, so we'll have it next Saturday. I can't remember who they're playing, but it's Indian Valley next week.
Yeah, go to BigTimeSports.com and check out our schedule. Dean, it's always fun talking football with you. Thanks for sitting in.
Great to be here, Joe.
There you go. For Dean Marini, I'm Joe Dunn. Thanks for watching Big Time Sports. Back next week as the Perry Panthers are in the studio. Have a great week, everybody.